Good morning in Mangaran. Okay.
Shut screen share. You can do that.
All right, hold on. So what do I want to do here?
See on the screen share button, there's that little
Right here?
No, there's a little carrot.
Yeah.
Pointing down the menu. Pull that.
Okay.
And multiple participants screen share.
Okay.
See if that works.
Okay. I'm recording mine.
Okay.
What's the volume down on yours?
Yeah.
Hi, sweetheart.
Let's see. All right.
Well, okay, folks. You have reached another episode of Weedwraps. This is Weedwraps number 5 with my co-host John Novak, and together we educate you about the realities involving the cannabis movement, cannabis legal developments, and all things relevant thereto. So today, as noted, we're got a fairly simple show, but it's never really simple because it's always very complex. But we're going to start off with a quick recap of what's going on with the Jenny Durkan case. That I just sued her, and that's related to this cannabis hustle. And then we're going to talk a little bit about updates from our FBI informant, who was the IT professional who was fired by LCB, who then went to the FBI. And he's been discussing some of the developments that are going on with that on an international level because of the lack of protocol and the exposure that's being faced. And then we also will tie in a recent security leak that occurred at LCB that we just found out about. I think John noticed it last night or today. So first off, let's talk about Jenny Durkan. Where did we leave that one last week? I think I just introduced the case, yeah?
Yeah, pretty much. One more case of the mayor hiding records or not turning them over in a public records case.
Right. So what had happened was I had requested a meeting with her, with Breon Corbray, who was, again, a cannabis professional. He wasn't a cannabis professional. He still is a cannabis professional. He's just unemployed because of Jenny Durkan. But so, again, he had the 3 game centers, the medical dispensaries, and Jenny used the federal law to shut him down, blah, 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 10 years ago, okay? When she shouldn't have done it because she knew the Cole memo was coming saying don't mess around with state entities if they're legal. Fair enough. So, well, not fair enough. Nothing about this was fair at all. So what happened next was we asked for a meeting with her and city council. I sent it to the whole city council, and he and I signed up on it, and I think Aaron Barfield even signed on it too, okay? So we were all like, hey, this is a press release. We talked about the Sean Kemp hustle, where they, pumped it up to try to make it appear as if he had ownership in a place when there are no black ownerships within the city anymore. And again, not Sean's fault, not blaming Sean, just be clear about that. Don't try to put that on me, not having it. So what we did was we asked for a meeting, and Jenny said nothing, not one damn thing. So time took on. This was in October. Then in November, I asked her, I said, you know what, this is bullshit. They've got people at the city directly involved with the equity task force, social equity and cannabis task force that's going on, okay? And so there should be an interest in all of this, right? But nothing ever came back to us. Nobody responded to him or me. They just, shoot fly shoot, you black motherfucker. So yeah, yeah, I'm not gonna mince words. This is what happened. So what didn't happen. So anyway, a month went by, and I said, look, I want all the records. First, I said I want all the emails that resulted from this request for a meeting. Again, I got bupkis. Then the legislative guy called me and said, oh, well, we searched, we can't find anything, blah, 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 blah. All right. Bottom line is this. I sued her a couple days ago, and I accidentally wasted $135 because I tried to use ABC Legal, and they're only accepting, email service of process. I'm like, God damn, $135. I needed that. But that's okay, Jenny. You're going to pay it back to me.
Well, interesting that they this issue is over mishandling of emails, and yet they want you to file by email.
yeah, that's a good one too, right? That's definitely a good one.
How does that work?
So no, but they've acknowledged that they got it, and they asked if it's fine to work back and forth through email, and I said that's fine. But and I told them, I remember this slimy bank attorney in '98. He told me oh, I'm not gonna respond to your emails. Emails are unprofessional. You know, God, his name was Bob something, man. This guy back in Ohio. He no Robert Eblin. Robert Eblin is his name. He's a fat cat lawyer, man. He's retired now, all that shit, you know. And he was one of the henchmen that came after me back in the day. But anyway, so ridiculous. So yeah, the IT guy calls me today, and he's trying to get from me some kind of an agreement that on the legislative side, because you got two sides here. You got the legislative side, then you've got Durkan, legislative slash the city. Then you've got Durkan over here in her individual and professional capacities. Okay, legislative and Durkan. All right. So he wants. I never received anything back from Durkan. All right, but the legislative guy, he sent me stuff. Now I don't know who Durkan's IT person is. All right. See how complex this is getting? So he wanted me to agree that he had done a due diligence search on the legislative side and that nothing was there. So now we're expected to believe that you've got someone here who's a former trial attorney, civil rights activist, a former cannabis professional, writing city council and the mayor, while there's all this stuff about social equity, and that no city councilor said a goddamn thing. Really? So he wants me to say something about that before, and I just wrote him back today, as you can see in the comments. I said, no. I'm not apt to do any of that, brother. And no offense to the guy, he and I get along just fine. He's probably the only honest motherfucker there. And I said, look, I will not agree to that because we're in court now, and we're going to let this play out in court. There are discovery requests sent out there. They have to respond to those, and that, in a sworn statement, will be all that I'm accepting on that from the legislative side. And meanwhile, we'll see what Jennifer O'Jenny has to say on her side. So yeah, man, I've got a little bit of we're gonna do a play acting thing. This is what we did in law school. If we're gonna like talk about how my cross-examination would go with Jenny. So I hate to put this on you, brother, but you're Jenny, okay? So here we go. Now, Defendant Durkan, I understand that you are still ostensibly the mayor of Seattle, correct?
This is correct.
Okay. And do you know how much longer do you anticipate being the mayor of Seattle, just so I'm clear on your employment tenure?
Well, a little aside here, I don't know. Is she running for re-election?
No, she's not. No,
okay.
She's not.
Well, my term as mayor is up at the end of this election cycle.
And approximately, so several months from now, like toward fall?
Right.
Okay. Now, ma'am, do you recall meeting my black ass about 4 years ago?
I believe so. I meet a lot of people out there, so I may have.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me refresh your recollection. See that fucking picture, bitch?
Mr. King, I don't have to talk to you if you're going to be that way.
Anyway.
Something along those lines, I would imagine.
No, is it possible that when you met me, you were not mayor?
Well, I don't know, was she?
No?
No.
Okay. So, ma'am, let me refresh your...
that may have been when I was a prosecutor.
No, ma'am, I think the time, my recollection serves me, you were running for mayor, and let me refresh your recollection. You see this picture, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay, and that's a picture of you on a camera, and there's a camera very close to you over the shoulder, and you're addressing a crowd of people. Is that accurate?
It appears to be me, yes.
Okay. Would it surprise you to know that that was me holding that camera?
From the looks of it, it appears to be you.
Now, were you threatened by any unprofessionalism at that time by me?
At the time, yes. I felt that you were being a little out of the, I don't know, I'm just coming up with
No, that's fine though. This is good. This is good. This is good because
to play devil's advocate here.
This is good though. This is the kind of shit that comes up though. So, ma'am, so you felt some apprehension about my presence, but let me show you Exhibit B. Bam!
It'd probably be something along the lines of, I don't remember the details of that incident.
Okay, ma'am, by that exhibit, do you recall walking next to your opponent in front of City Hall when I was running video of the two of you? And you're smiling, are you not?
Again, I cannot confirm or deny that I remember this.
Now, ma'am, so you never told anyone at the time that you felt any apprehension about me as a professional journalist. You never told anyone that, did you?
I don't recall if I did.
Okay. Well, I want you to think about that, and if you should recall later, let us know, please. Okay. So, ma'am, so despite the fact
It's
that
all worse when I've talked to them about this kind of stuff.
oh, I know yeah, it's all good. There's okay. There's gonna be a jury sitting there, and they'll make sense out of this. All right. So, ma'am, let me ask you this. Let me hit my beer, ma'am. Hold on.
In court.
Man, let me roast up my fatty while I'm
while you're at it.
Well, cross-exing you. So now, ma'am, so despite the fact that you cannot articulate any perceived unprofessionalism on my part, you still never responded to me when I wrote you in October of 2020, did you?
Sounds like well, I had problems with my email. I gotta have to read the what was the
oh, that gets all the emails that you lost. No, it was, it was after
my
that.
chief of staff that's been attributed to lost text due to an unknown technology issue.
No, ma'am, but those emails,
I believe all my text, calendar entries, and emails should be available and quickly produced, but for some reason, these emails from the past have just disappeared.
now, ma'am, let me just bring your focus right back here.
That's what my technical advisor says.
Yes, I'm aware of all that, Your Honor, your mayorship. I'm aware of all that. But those email problems allegedly were resolved before October of 2020, were they not?
Again, I cannot confirm or deny without my attorney present.
Well, ma'am, your attorney's sitting right the fuck over there looking at you sheepish right now. All right, so that's the Durkan wrap.
I cannot confirm or deny that he's my attorney.
So that's the Durkan wrap, guys. All right. So that's about how the cross-ex is gonna go. And they know it, the lawyers know it. They know that I'm sharp in court. I'm not gonna take any shit. I'm not gonna give I'm gonna give a little shit. But yeah, I'm gonna be just shy of a dick in court to her. And she's deserves it. So Novak, your turn. What do you got for us?
Well, I've been working on a story with another researcher for right now. He'll remain nameless, but he's basically discovered that patients who were in the database registered as a cooperative garden, who they're supposed to have all their information on file in the patient database, and along with the LCB through the traceability system that all the licensed growers have to be involved with, and all the licensees.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, this gentleman was asking for information around traceability and received emails or documents that contain the entire list, including information on all the patient cooperative gardens. So all those names that were supposed to be protected by law have now been leaked. And as of from what I know today, I sent a public records request on a gentleman who had a collective garden, or was trying to, a cooperative, and was trying to get licensed as a 502 outlet, I believe, eventually. I'm not quite sure of the details there. But anyway, he gave me his name and his cooperative number, and I filed a public records request asking for information on that. And through that process, I was told that the information was supposed to be redacted, and they wanted to know if I wanted the redacted versions of any information. And I said, well, sure, I would like that. But the problem is all this information has been made public. And David Postman, one of your board members, has been notified of this by email at least twice.
Uh-huh.
And they got back to me pretty quick. And she said, basically, thank you for letting them know. And she was now in touch with the people in the, I think it's the technology tech department, to find out. And she mentioned the traceability system. So I didn't mention anything specific. I just told her that the information had been released, and she from there was able to figure out exactly where that leak came from, because she contacted this and told me that she had contacted IT and stuff. So
yeah, so let me understand.
now,
So who saw this? Who do you know saw this information? And
I've
B,
seen
who
it
potentially?
personally.
Yeah, but who potentially could see it right now as it happened?
Anybody who's got those traceability files
Uh-huh.
through public records, if
Right.
they get specific enough to the area that was covered, especially like tax information and stuff. All of that kind of information is available on the database.
Now, well, no, wait. So let me understand this.
On their database.
Right. So they may have fixed it, but now it's kind of like it's too late, like because it shows in the infrastructure there's a failure there.
Yeah.
And that's, guys, this dovetails precisely with what Leach, Dante Leach was saying. The black guy that they fired when he spoke up about protocol violations. That guy, okay, and they triple scheduled him for the next week and then fired him for non-compliance or insubordination during his suspension period as a new employee, right? So again, this guy was a commander in the U.S. Army, almost got his master's now in IT, and he was informing them that they were, Pepper, what the fuck is going on? You need to do something yourself. So what he had told them was that they were not in compliance with, you're tripping, dude. God. So they were not in compliance with the dictates of this. It's a Series 5 kind of thing, and I forget the name of it, but the NIST, NIST, okay, National Institute something standards or something, right? And so, yeah, they're not in compliance. And the problem is they can't get themselves in compliance because they're feckless, they're incompetent. So they outsource jobs. Well, these outsourced jobs, like that could be some dude like me or Novak sitting in my fucking yard with no security, all right, doing things. And that all ties in with the fact what Biden is meeting Putin about right now, and Russian interference and lack of standards and protocols and safety and all redundancy, all of it. It's all tied together, folks. And that's why the FBI is going to be investigating the shit out of LCB. You better believe it. Did you tell them about this latest thing yet?
About what just happened?
Yeah.
Well, now that the public records department knows about it, and the technology department or whatever they're called,
it doesn't matter.
Knows about it.
It doesn't matter. It's too late. It happened.
And there's emails, and we know that David Postman knows about it and sat on it, ignored this story for I don't know how many months now. But I know there's been more than one leak on this to the same gentleman. And like I said, I saw documents that back him up. So he's not, this isn't a lie. And he took it upon himself to contact Mr. Postman and tell him two different times. And he said he was going to send out a third one today.
Okay.
As his final one. So I've asked now for the records on those communications with Mr. Postman. As soon as I get them, we'll have that. But
yeah, I bet you. Let's make sure Dante gets this, because he can tell the FBI they might just come and get him a little sooner.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the big thing now. We're pretty certain that these patients have not been informed of this breach yet, and they need to be contacted.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was to the point now where if we didn't get any kind of action out of this, we were going to start contacting the names on the list and tell them, hey, we got your information on a leak that the Liquor Control Board is refusing to acknowledge.
Right. Oh, you know what else that dovetails into? Our equal protection argument on the 14th Amendment to medical users. Medical end users are not receiving the adequate protection under the law. And there you have it right there. Right. They just had their private information published.
Well, we've known about how loose they are with patient information basically since the beginning. The DEA and local cops would raid clinics back in the day, and they would then pass those lists out of the patients to police informants.
Nice.
And I got caught up in one of those. Turned out one of the doctors from the THCF Foundation, all his patient files were raided and taken, confiscated, and my name and a bunch of other people out there in Okanagan County were put on a list, which was passed around publicly and posted in different places.
Nice.
And we found out after my raid, after my name was put in the papers, some of those patients contacted me, and we figured out that we all had the same doctor. That was the connection. So
yeah, and it came from that's the files from that doctor that did. Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
and that then we had we caught the LCB and the back in the beginning of when the patient registry went into place. People were going into the shops to get registered, and they were accidentally putting their patient information into the traceability database, basically exposing all the patient information to anybody who had access in the traceability system. Which was a violation, and they didn't want to do anything about it. And as far as I know, the problem's never been fixed. And that was back in 2016. It was the very first day that thing went online, and I got a phone call and an email from a shop owner who said that she was right in the middle of trying to get a patient in it and realized what was going on, contacted LCB, contacted the state senators and stuff. And like I said, I don't know if that's ever been resolved. And now here we are again. So they have constantly, it's either now they're doing this kind of stuff on purpose, or they are so negligent that it's to the point where it doesn't matter either way. It's just continually happening over and over and over. I even had a leak to me. I can't remember the year now, 2015, 2016 or so. The Liquor Control Board accidentally leaked a whole bunch of personal data on licensees. All kinds of social security numbers, criminal background history, and that one made the news. At one point, that was one of the last stories I was in the mainstream news about. But
for those of you new to this, if you go back, and you can still find, if you search carefully, if you Google search or what have you, if you look 420 leaks, as it sounds, it's like WikiLeaks, 420 leaks, you'll find a wealth of information from this guy that I was reading years ago before I knew the depths of anything. We still haven't hit the bottom of this cesspool.
Right. Well,
God, I don't want to hit. I don't want to hit the bottom of it. That's one time I don't want to hit the bottom. I'll die down there.
Right. So 420 leaks has been kind of a project where I just dump all our public records research on, kind of in a manner of WikiLeaks, but we don't hack in places like that. We just send a public records request and publish what they give us.
Well, with these idiots, you don't need to hack. You just ask them a question.
You just ask them for the files. Okay, here you go. Oh, and also, I've through this process, they've unwittingly turned over the names of some of their police informants. So,
that's right.
It's just amazing. The negligence, the corruption, it just keeps going.
I remember that. It was, I think it was. Was it?
That was on Levi Lyons.
It was a Levi's case. That's right, Levi's.
But over my public records research career, I have outed now 5 informants. So I think that makes me an ace.
Right.
Not that I am out to destroy these truly criminal acts that are going on out there, but informants around marijuana crimes is just, come on, stupid. I mean, let's get real. It's pot.
Yeah, where's your real harm there, right? Unless you talk about, guys in the black market. You talk about somebody, putting a murder conspiracy together or something like that in the black market, which LCB can't investigate anyway, because those wouldn't be licensees unless the criminals were working with licensees of some nature.
Well, yeah, they'd have to stop and call the cops. Hey,
we're just sitting here and down on the bayou eating chitlins, and we heard something was going on with the marijuana running. Yeah. God, man.
So that's kind of, in a nutshell, what's going on today. Let's see, anything else?
So yeah, guys, tonight I'm going to file something in court, updating about this situation that we just talked about. I know I'm going to do that. I'm just going to say this is yet another example of the equal protection problem that we have with respect to the medical end users. And again, also this goes to the general malfeasance of the corporate entity as well, and the arbitrary capricious nature of it. you know, and that's all tied into this big ball of wax. And you know, like I say, I can't tell the judge what to do. I can't predict what the judge will do. All I can tell you is that I can see no possible way for this judge to order this case down to state court. I see no possible way. And I'm not going to enumerate all the things we've shown, guys. It's there. All right. It's there. It's present. It's undeniable. Yep. And the other thing I said that's funny too is, okay, what happens if by chance the court did determine that there's no federal jurisdiction? That's called the 12A1 defense, I think. If the court said that, well, then wait a minute. Or no, this is 12B1, I think. And whatever the case. Bottom line is, if the court said that, it would make no sense, because then the next thing you know, what happens then when the FBI comes in to investigate, and it's like, well, you've got a federal investigation office investigating the state agency, but the federal court said there's no federal jurisdiction, because there's obviously no way that there's federal jurisdiction. I mean, remember, we're at the first blush of this case. Do the pleadings themselves and whatever I've submitted to the court since then, do they show that there is a decent likelihood of federal jurisdiction? That's all we're dealing with right now. Nothing more, nothing less. Boom! Yep. God damn. So I don't know. I got nothing else, dude. You and I got to talk about what we want to talk about. It had nothing to do with these people.
So yeah, that's pretty much about it. I think for this week, we'll start to show you some of these documents in future episodes. Just wanted to make sure that you got caught up on what's going on today. If you have a medical cooperative garden, you need to contact the LCB, because your information has been released. And if they don't, we don't hear about patients getting notified of this, you'll hear from me or the other gentleman telling you how we got your information from an accidental leak by the LCB.
Wonderful.
Cheers.
Great work as usual. Indeed, folks. We're out of here. I'm gonna go to my vehicle and see if I can find some of that wedding cake marijuana. It's real good. It is really good. Amazing stuff. Give you the giggles and stuff.